Hi, I'm Rav Michelson, CEO and founder of Mix. Reading is difficult. It requires time, focus, and good orientation. The challenge increases when we move to our mobile phones, because we have different reading habits. We read 5 minutes between meetings. We do it with apps and notifications in the background, and we do all of this on a small digital screen. So how many of you saw something interesting to read on your phone and you didn't even start reading because it was too long and you knew you wouldn't finish it and you wouldn't get back to it? Today, if you have digital reading content and you want to create engagement reading it on mobile phones, you either add or even replace it with video and audio. Now, there's a challenge in these solutions, both for readers and publishers. First, it's passive learning. You understand fast, but you don't really remember much later. On top of this, it's expensive because you are doing something from scratch and it's not necessarily in your skill set. And also, if you have a lot of content, it will take a long time to convert. We have created a new format of text that brings you the same engagement as video and audio while maintaining most of the content in text format. We provide a turnkey solution for readers and publishers. Our Readers app makes text demonstratively easier to read and understand on mobile devices. So this becomes this.
When adding it to your reading list, you immediately dive into the story, reading it at your own time. You can also see the character's social profile at any point of the story, and this profile develops with the story itself. The story comes in short sections, giving you an easy and accessible way to keep track every time you have just 5 minutes to read. And when a conversation starts, you actually enter the chat between the characters, and as the story will go on, the chat will grow, creating a story within our story. Scooby recreates the stories in an environment familiar to us, making reading more accessible and fun, and allowing readers to adapt their stories to our new reading habits.
And as for creating content, our AI-powered editor allows you to transfer any existing content to this new format at a fraction of the time and cost. So first and foremost, we achieve active learning. And not less important, we make it possible to automatically transfer any existing content to this new format at a fraction of the time and low cost. A test group we did in the US showed exactly these things. 3 stories, 53 readers, and we got amazing results, among which 82% of our readers stated that it was easier to read on our format on mobile devices. The market opportunity is any reading material, but the most significant one is the e-learning market that is growing rapidly with a yearly growth of 18%. Specifically in this market, mobile learning is projected to bring $37 billion by 2020, with segments like K-12, higher education, and corporate that have the same product needs. We're starting with the beta site at the Center of Educational Technology here in Israel. With over 10,000 stories, 10 reading items in English, we are looking to increase reading after school hours for children. We will test for reading skills, reading comprehension, and retention, and upon completion, we will move to a fully paid integration project. However, the K-12 ecosystem in the US is a bit different. It's less centralized. You have decision makers and vendors. Decision making can be done in the school level and the district level. Our go-to market is to find the states that have decision making in district level to simplify our distribution. In these states, we will approach technology platform providers and publishers to create partnerships for easier market penetration. Based on our SaaS platform subscription with 3 levels of payment, we are looking as our entry point at California that has over 6.2 million children in 10,000 schools in 1,000 districts. If you look at a 5% penetration with $5 to $10 annual pay per student, we are looking at $1.5 to $3 million annual revenue in California only. We're starting this September with the CT beta site, and we're going to get to our first US customer at the beginning of next year. And after 6 months, we're looking to upscale the K-12 and start moving to corporate segments. This is our team, myself and Noi, and if you want to hear more, please approach us after the presentation. Thank you.
So, hi. I personally have a problem with your product since I'm a reporter and it's Geek Time. And if a user uses your app, it's like an instant articles on Facebook. It's like Geek Time doesn't exist anymore. I mean, you read something, but it doesn't know who wrote it. So do you have any kind of personalization or, I don't know. I mean, for me as a reporter, I don't see why should I use it because
Okay, well, the idea here is that it's a mobile reader. We do not have anything to do with the content itself. What we are doing is presenting things in an easier way to read. So if you're a reporter and you write an article, a lot of people don't read today because they have the 5 minutes and they're not in focus. And what we allow people to do is actually see your article, load it and read it on this reader, and read it whenever they have time. They have 5 minutes, they read, and when they get back, they're exactly where they stopped and they know where they are, and it doesn't take them 5 minutes just to get back to what they read. So actually what we're doing is saying that most of our time we're with our phone, and if we can increase reading by making it more accessible and fun, we're actually doing a service for you.
But the reader doesn't know what exactly he reads, like if it's Geek Time or another website.
Of course he does, because he's searching, he comes to Geek Time, for example. And when he gets to Geek Time, he sees, oh, this is an article I want. He uploads it into the app, just for reading it. But it's your article, it's your name, it comes from your
Okay,
source.
but the design and, the overall.
The design itself
Okay.
is not
Well,
a issue.
Okay. Move on.
I would seriously suggest for you to consider going to the corporate market first, as opposed to the educational market. The educational market is very, very difficult to penetrate. And before you do, get some more data. 3 stories, 53 readers is way too low. You need to show more data, especially for corporate customers. Let 1 company, 2 companies, 3 companies play with it. Use it in-house and see the results. They will be much more representative.
Well, I agree with you. And basically the CET is actually, they welcomed us with open hands because we actually solve for them a problem, a pain, which is eventually the most significant thing for a product. But we are also working with retail and medical companies on tests in order to try and see how much exactly in reading skills, reading comprehension, and retention we get from articles and things that are more substantial for the corporate segment.
All right, thank you very much.